All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Joe Wentz Project Christmas Eve edition broadcast. Oh man, hope everybody's doing well. And looks like we had a pretty big crowd tonight. I'm sure everybody is doing their thing. And I was waiting on my other laptop to load up, so hopefully I could get online on that one and see the comments. But while I'm waiting on that dinosaur, I guess I'll look at the comments on here. So let me see if anybody is joining. So we'll check it out here. I hope everybody's having a great Christmas Eve so far. Okay, it says live. So let's see what's going on. Hey, all right, there we go, man. Sean Mahoney, David Allen Wright, Center. Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for joining. And just thought I'd get on here for a little bit, man, and just talk about my look at there. Now the laptop is done. You know, if I would have waited another 5 minutes, that's okay. It don't matter. It's crazy. Technology, man. Sometimes you gotta love it. Sometimes you just gotta hate it, right? So let me see if I can pull this up. Oh man, golly, I tell you what's the truth. Crazy. So that's going to take a while. Let's see. David Allen Wright says black and white night strat. Color looks good. Thank you, David. Yeah, this is an old. Oh man, that light's hitting just right. This is an old Squire, man. I had this in Lord mercy, probably. Oh god, 91, 92 or something like that. I had it. Yeah, had it for a long time. So yeah, I got this long time ago, and it was the first kind of Fender product I really ever had. You know, I know it's not a full Fender. It's a Squire, but at the time it was close enough. I've had it for a long time, as you can tell, and it's always played really well. So tonight, being Christmas Eve, the reason I want to come on here, I guess about an hour and a half ago, it was officially my 30th anniversary of my very first guitar. And this is not the very first guitar. The very first guitar I had was it was a Strat, I guess a Strat copy, and it said Memphis on the headstock. I didn't know if that was good or bad. I didn't know what a Memphis was. The only thing I knew about Memphis is that about Elvis. You know, that was pretty much it. So it was a Memphis Strat and a little practice amp, and it said Gorilla on the front. And I didn't know nothing. Didn't know, how to tune. I didn't know anything. And of course, just like tonight, Christmas Eve, everybody has a Christmas Eve get together and has a party, just like we had earlier. Everybody has gone now. Everybody has gone home. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. But anyway, we had a Christmas Eve party, and this was in 1986, so it's 30 years ago today. And so my uncle was there, my dad's brother, which he's since passed away now. And I'm trying to multitask, so you have to give me a second here. And he had always played guitar. My uncle did. He had always played guitar. So I got my guitar Christmas Eve, and he was there, and I gave it to him and asked him if he could tune it. I said, "Can you tune my guitar?" And he said, "Yeah, I guess." So he took it and he tuned it up by ear. If I could go back in time and listen to it now, with the way my ears are a lot better as far as knowing when something's in and out of tune, I don't. It might have been a little out or something like that, you know. But at the time, it was awesome. You know, it was fantastic. Um, all right, we got the laptop fired up now, so I can see the comments a lot better. So okay, all right, now I'm going to take this off. I'll get right back to my story. I apologize. And so he tuned it up. Pardon me for a minute. Let me. I gotta plug this phone in, or it's not gonna make it. And he tuned it up by ear, and his daughter, which is my cousin, started. They got together and they started singing some, like, I guess, some gospel hymns. He was just sitting there playing, you know, just regular chords, doing stuff. You know, I didn't know what he was doing. He started doing that, and I was blown away. I was like, "Whoa, man!" You know, I was like, I just got this guitar out of the box, and my uncle's playing it, you know, and he's making music, and I was floored. Um, Center says, "Merry Christmas, Joe. Merry Christmas, Center." Uh, oh, David Allen Wright, what version of Windows are you running on that old computer? It's Windows 7, Dave. I have to use that for my. Uh, there's some software on there I have to use. Adam Schomburg, Merry Christmas Eve, Joe and guys. Adam's in the house. David says, I had a Squire, but let someone borrow it and never saw it again. Talk about stressing a friendship when you let somebody borrow a guitar and never get it back. Yeah, that's messed up, man. I have a good day, guys. I guess Center's leaving. Okay, Center. I know everybody's busy, man, doing their thing. There's Sean Mahoney, and yeah, I wouldn't be. Nah, I wouldn't. I'm real protective over. No, I don't. You know, I don't know. I just never really got into that, letting somebody borrow any of my equipment. You know, and I don't think I'd be cool with that. So anyway, Christmas Eve, my uncle tunes my guitar up. Man, he starts playing it. I was freaking out, and so from then on, that was it, man. All I wanted to do was learn how to play, you know. And then every Christmas after that, when my parents still had that party, uh, again, this is '86, so I was 16 years old. So every year after that, I would try to learn something, and a year would go by. He would come over like the next Christmas, and I'd say, "Hey, check this out," you know, and try to play something, you know. And it was uh, it probably sounded horrible then, which it probably still does now, but I just love playing, man. It's really fun. So thank y'all for joining. I really appreciate it. David Allen Wright says, talk about ear training. I got both the full version of. Oh, no, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it, man. No, I'm good, man. I'm pretty much where I want to be for what level I'm at, which I know isn't that great, but I just don't I don't have a lot of time to play anymore, which I think for me, I think I've put in my time for playing to get to this semi level I'm at. But yeah, with work and everything, it's just really hard to really see. Like I said, I'm not even, you know, I've had my times of being in bands and all that, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, but my workload has kind of doubled, so can't really, can't really be in a band anymore. It sucks, man. It sucks. Lynn, hey Lynn, how you doing? Saw you in Johnny's chat box last night. Thank you for joining. I don't have a wrench, so I don't. I can't give you the wrench. Mike Morrison, what's up, Joe? Merry Christmas, Mike, man. Love that guitar. Thank you, Mike. It's for those of you just jumping on, man. It's an old Squire. Got in the early '90s. It's just something I just, you know. It just goes to show you, man, that if you have a semi decent guitar, you can still have fun and still play. You know, it doesn't have to be a Wolfgang special or whatever. I mean, when you get some playing time under your belt, then yeah, you want to kind of upgrade your equipment a little bit because it does, it helps, to have a nice guitar. So yeah, this guitar, like I said, I've had it for that long. It's been a great guitar. I mean, this guitar, man, I traded this when I got this guitar. I traded a guitar in on this one. It's like I'm stumbling over my stuff here. Sorry, I haven't drank anything, so I it was an Aria, however you want to say it. Pro 2. It was a Les Paul style guitar, and it was solid black, had gold hardware, and I had bought it from a buddy of mine that I used to work with years ago, and I think he charged me like $100 for the guitar. Had that for a while, and then I went to the music store when I was still living in Charlotte at this time, and I saw this, brand new. I said, and the first thing I thought about when I saw this guitar was Eric Clapton. That was the first thing I thought about, even though it does have a humbucker here. Eric's, of course, is all single coils. At the time, I didn't know that. I just looked at the color and I was like, oh man, Eric Clapton, first thing I thought about, That was the first thing I thought about. I said, man, I got to get that guitar. And of course, being a Squire, it's a little lower price, I said, man, I think this guitar back then, I want to say it was like $380, somewhere in that ballpark. And I was like, man, I don't have $380, man. So I brought that Area Pro 2 in and saw the salesman. And even in that point in time, I didn't know if Area Pro 2 was a good guitar or what. I wish I still had that guitar now because, yeah, I think it was a Japanese guitar, and it was a good guitar for what it was, especially for how old it was, But I didn't know any better, so I took the guitar in and traded it on this. And I talked to the salesman, and I walked in, and he's like, I said, man, I want to get that Squire, this one. I want to get that Squire, but I want to trade a guitar in on it. He's like, all right, what you got? And I opened up the case, and it was like this old acoustic case. I didn't even have a regular electric guitar case. It was like an old acoustic case that the guy gave me with the guitar. I popped it open. We, opened it up. He looked at it, and he's like, whoa, man. He's like, I guess he was trying to restrain himself a little bit, but I could tell he was like, wow, that's, cool guitar. And so he's like, yeah, we can do a trade. And so all he gave me, this is, what they call being young and dumb, right? Being young and stupid. And all he gave me was like $100. And he said, I'll give you $100. And I was like, okay. So he wrote the ticket for the trade-in. He went and hung the guitar on the used guitar rack on the wall on the other side of the store. So I took the $100 credit and put it on this guitar like for a layaway. And so I had to, make payments. I came back like a day or two later to make a payment or something. And I wanted to see if that Area Pro 2 was still up there, and it was gone. It was out. It was gone. Somebody done nabbed it up. Mike Morrison says, I won the same guitar, but mine has 3 single coils and is Korean made. Oh, that's cool, man. Okay, he says, I got it. Not won it, I got it. Okay. Adam says he's got to go. All right, Adam. Thanks for jumping in, man. Yeah, of course, like I said, this was years and years ago when I got this guitar. Of course, I have more Strats now. You can't see it, but I have more Strats now with single coils and all that, all kind of different guitars. But this one has always kind of meant something to me because it was really the first Squire ever. Yeah, it was. It was the first Squire I ever had. I never had any kind of Fender product at the time, and so I've had it all these years. She still does good. Yeah, it plays great. I mean, And then later I learned how to do setups and all that. So I set it up and all that stuff. Haven't had to do anything to it. And to be stock pickups, they're really good. I mean, I was really surprised as I got, more knowledge about things about the guitar. I was like, wow, this thing does pretty good. I would take it to practice and play it and all that cool stuff. And it's always held up really well. So yeah, so 30 years ago tonight, man, 30 years. That's like, I was sitting there thinking the other night, that's like if I had a kid at that time, he'd be 30 years old now. I was just like, man, that's just unbelievable, man. I'm like, am I that old? I'm getting old, man. And what's scary is when I go get my haircut at the barber right down the street, this old man has this old little barber shop. It only has one barber chair in it. Just he's like 70 something years old. He's been cutting my hair for, I don't know, probably 10 years. And he puts that black cape on you, right? And of course I got black hair, and he's cutting the hair, and he gets done. And I look down at the cape, and I see all this like salt and pepper, and I said, what is that? He said, that's mileage. I was like, okay. That's not mileage. That's getting old, Mike Morrison says, yeah, it sounds great. Oh, thank you, Mike. Yeah, I'm not sure how things come across on these hangouts when you try to play electric guitar. It sounds better if you don't even use an amp. Sometimes you just sit there and go like this, That seems to come across really well. But then when you try to use an amp, you can maybe use the amp for a few seconds. If you go any further than that, it's going to start sound like it's underwater. Sounds like crap. There's Jim Guidry. Hey, Jim. My buddy Jim Guidry's in the house. He lives in Shreveport, Louisiana. His social security number is 2. No, I'm just kidding. But just kidding, Jim. He is recovering from hip surgery. I talked to him on the phone the other night, and he's doing really well. And he's a good guy. Really cool. So, Jim, thanks for jumping in, man. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. So for the next lesson, we're doing Beethoven's Fifth in E minor. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't know where to start on something like that, man. I'm just a average classic rock guitar player. That's it. No frills, no, I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell you I know how to do this and these scales and this and that. I just do what sounds right to me. And the main thing is, man, I have fun. That's it. If you're having fun, that's all that matters. You can do the simplest, you just do the simplest stuff, and that's fun. It doesn't have to be Paul Gilbert or Steve Vai. To each his own. If you can do that, that's awesome. I wish I could do that. That ain't gonna happen. Not for me. Let's see. Mike Morrison says he upgraded the tuners to vintage. What is vintage? I need some vintage fenders. Get out of here. Take 2, man. Upgraded the tuners to vintage Fender tuners and the pick guard. Oh, okay. So you like the vintage tuners. That's funny you say that, Mr. Mike, because the Hendrix Strat I got, the Fender Hendrix Strat that came out like last year, it came with vintage tuners. I just don't like those. I mean, everybody likes what they like, and they were just so aggravating. So I took them off and put Fender locking tuners on it. Works like a charm for me. Let's see. Sean Mahoney says Christmas of 1985 was when I got my first guitar. Good Lord, it's been 31 years for me. I know how you feel, Sean. Man, I know how you feel. So you got a year up on me, brother. That's cool. Jim Guidry says, thanks, Joe. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so how long has everybody been playing guitar? Can you put that in the comments? I'd like to know how long you've been playing, just out of curiosity. Jim, you told me one time, and I forgot. I totally forgot. So put in the I about to say comments. I don't know why I said comments. In the chat box, how long you've been playing guitar? You know how long I've been playing, which you can listen and tell that. 30 years. How about 30 days? Okay, yeah, that sounds more like it. So. Yeah, man. Let's see here. Sean Mahoney says, yeah, but we're like fine wine, my friend. You're like fine wine, Sean. I'm probably more like Schlitz malt liquor. Just playing, man. Mike Morrison says he's been playing guitar since 1984, 85. Wow. Center says, wow, I'm only 21. You're the same age as Johnny. Oh, Lord. Man. Bet y'all wonder how old Johnny is. I know how old he is, but I'm not going to say nothing. I guess he wants to keep that under wraps, but I do know how old he is. But I'm not going to disclose that because I don't want him to freak out. But yeah. I'll put it this way. It's about right what I thought how old he was. I was pretty much right on the money. I was off by maybe a year or two, but yeah. Oh, man. So you've been playing for that long? 84, 85, Mr. Mike says. That's cool, man. That's awesome. And yeah, it's Mike Morrison is 47. Okay, cool, man. You're a year older than me. Okay, so we're all pretty much in the same ballpark here. That's awesome. That's cool. Sully dude. Only chicks should care about age. I'm 52. We're all friends here, Mr. Sully dude. It don't matter. I mean, I'm 46. Mr. Mike is 47. Center's 21. He's the youngest. Jim Guidry is 53. And Sean Mahoney, I don't know how old Sean is unless he doesn't want to say. I'm guessing Sean is Sean, I'm gonna guess that you're probably 40, maybe 42. I'm just guessing. Oh, 45. Okay, I was close. All right, 45. Okay, well, you're just okay. Cool, man. Just turned 45, December 7th. Oh, happy belated birthday. That's right. I remember wishing you happy birthday on Facebook. That's right. Yeah. David Allen Wright. I'm stumbling bad tonight. My gosh, man. David Allen Wright is 48. Okay, cool. Cool, David. Mike says he'll be right back. Okay. All right, man. Yeah, come on back, Mr. Mike, if you want to. We'll be here for a little bit, man. Okay, everybody, let's go. No. Sean says, yes, you did. Thank you. Oh, yeah, man. No problem, man. No problem at all. Uh-oh, you know where that's going. Oh, God, like, we don't want to go there, do we? That was one of the first songs I learned, man. Actually, the first song I learned was okay, you know what that is. That was like one of the first songs I learned. And then you had the that was Center says he'll be back. Last 5 minutes of Christmas Story. Good Lord. Yeah, don't they show that on Christmas Day, like 24 hours, like a whole 24 hours? But I triple dog dare you. That's right. But I don't blame you, man. I still watch that movie every year. I mean, when my son was little, I got him, watching that when he was little, and I still watch it today. It's a Christmas classic. I love that movie. Have you seen what that guy looks like now that played Ralphie? Have you seen him now? Wow, you'll shoot your eye out. That's right. Yeah, the not to kind of sound weird here, but this guy right here that if you like watching vlogs and stuff, Adam the Woo, I'm subscribed to his channel. And excuse me, I think last year, about a year ago, he went to that house where they filmed A Christmas Story. I can't remember what state it's in, but that house is there, and they have it open for people to do tours. You can, pay so much money, and they give you a tour of the house, and it's just still the same. I think they might have mainly used it for. Well, they did some shots inside of the house too. I thought maybe it was just the outside, but they did do shots on the inside too. Yeah. I can't remember where that was at, but it was pretty cool. He did a vlog of that. I thought that was really interesting, really cool. I like Adam the Woo a lot. It's nothing to do with music, even though he was in band, played in a few bands, but it was like punk rock. I don't get into punk rock, but everybody's got their own thing. Yeah, it's a major award. I love the leg lamp. Yeah. This is, what did he say, Sully, dude? This must be Italian. It says fragile. I mean, when I first heard that, man, I laughed so hard. Oh my God, that was crazy. Anyway, I don't know how this got in it. But yeah, man. So what are some of your favorite songs that you like to play, guys? Because I'm flying solo tonight, and I know everybody's busy. I didn't try to invite anybody because I know everybody is doing their Christmas Eve thing, so I thought I would just try to fly solo. For me, I'll start the ball rolling here. If anybody has looked at my channel and went back some, getting past those daily vlogs and stuff, I usually do cover songs, classic rock for the most part. A lot of cover songs. There's a couple of originals here and there. If you kind of go back a little ways, you can see some originals. But I've been doing a lot of cover songs lately. And so what do y'all like to play? Do y'all like, do you like just, what type of music do you like? I like, I like blues and classic rock. I love all that stuff, man. The kind of music that I don't like, okay, I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but everybody's got an opinion, right? So I don't like jazz. I just don't care for it. To me, it puts me to sleep. Rap, not crazy about rap, just ain't, and but it's weird, but because that's what makes the money. Golly, that makes the money. It's a generational thing, man. It's just the way it is. Things change, music changes, but thank God for bands like Van Halen and stuff like that. They're trying to keep it in there, but it's what are they going to do? Is Van Halen going to come out with some more music, or are they just going to sit by the wayside? I have no clue. I haven't heard anything. My phone just got charged here, so I'm trying to make sure we get that over here. So yeah, pretty much rock, classic rock for me. Pretty much that's what it is. Silly Dude says blues is boring. Wow, you think blues is boring? Well, everybody's got the right to their own opinion, what they like. David Allen Wright says School of Rock is also on the Bravo channel. Okay, that's a pretty cool movie. I like that movie. Mike says he doesn't care for jazz or rap either. Silly Dude, especially when I'm drumming. Okay, I got you, Sully, man. I got you. Yeah, I understand, man. Everybody's got what they like and what they don't like. I love the blues. Can I listen to it all the time? No, because it will get kind of repetitious. It will. It gets repetitious, but I still like it. I like to get a little taste of it every now and then. I don't think I could be in a blues band, just playing that stuff all the time. Be kind of like, oh God, Mike Morrison says he loves the Hendrix Blues album. Awesome album. Yes, that is an awesome album, man. Very nice album. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, Hendrix, man. Golly, I love. He's right there. There's Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate you being here for Christmas, man. Cool, dude. You got a joint? No, Jimmy, none of that. Control yourself. Go back on the Dick Cavett show. Yeah, I love Jimmy, man. He's awesome. Jimmy is cool. There's a bunch of guitar players that I really listen to and I really like, but there's a lot of their stuff I just can't play. So I look at that as really a good thing because it makes you be yourself to a certain degree. It makes you be yourself and makes you, kind of come up with your own thing, your own ideas. And that has worked, for me anyway. That's just the way I think. Could be totally wrong on that, but that's just what I think, Do I want to be a carbon copy of Hendrix or, Eddie Van Halen or Stevie Ray Vaughan or Eric Clapton? No. Do I think it's cool to be able to play those things note for note? Yeah, that's cool. But when you get down to it, it's really more important just to be yourself if you can, and just try to take a little bit from, your heroes, or that's what I've tried to do anyway. Whether I've succeeded at that is up to the listener. I feel I have, but I still got a long way to go. It's a never ending journey and it never stops. Like I said, you always learn something. You might think you won't, but you will. You end up it's like, whoa, I didn't know you could play it like that, or whatever. It's really cool, man. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. Sully Dude says we played so much Hendrix when I first started playing. Fun stuff. Cool, man. That's awesome, Sully. That's awesome, man. John Windsor's in the house. My chat box just moved there. Let's see. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Mr. John. Thank you for joining this Christmas Eve broadcast. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for thank you, Sean, for saying that, man. Mike Morrison says Hendrix never played a cover song the same as the original. Well, yeah, that's true. Even when he played Killing Floor, when he came back to America to make his debut, he didn't play it like it was. He done his own version, which I can't. Again, I can't play that. I wish I could. John Mayer can. I've heard him do it. John Mayer's phenomenal guitar player. Center says that's what is great about music, man. No rules. He's right. That's right. That is true, man. Yeah, I got you, Mr. Mike. I got you, man. At first, I thought he put ground beef, and I had to look again. I said, "What did he say?" Okay, I got you, man. But yeah, that's right. Center brings a very good point, man. There's no rules. There's many different levels of success on the guitar. I mean, there is. I mean, you got, and there's nothing wrong with this. I'm not saying nothing bad in any way, shape, or form, but there's many levels of success on this beautiful instrument. You have people that I call campfire players. They might get around a group of friends and there's a guitar, sitting in the corner and you're having a little party or get together and somebody says, "Oh, do you play guitar?" And you're like, "Yeah," even if you just know 3 or 4 chords, if you kind of do your homework a little bit, you can get by with that. And everybody's kind of having to sing along and all that. And that's cool. This is, it's just the magic of guitar playing. People are kind of like, whoa, it's one thing when people see a concert on TV or something like that, or listen to a song on the radio. But when somebody that hasn't played before is sitting in front of you, and you kind of, you've been playing for a while, you kind of know what you're doing, and you start playing, just doing something, whatever. And that person will be kind of like, whoa, just like I said in the beginning of this broadcast, when I got my first guitar 30 years ago tonight, and my uncle tuned it up and started playing, I was blown away. I was like, huh? I've seen people play guitar before, but I didn't really pay attention. I saw it, but it kind of just went, how they say, in one ear and out the other, it's like, oh yeah, yeah. But then when I wanted to do this, wanted to learn how to play, I saw my uncle do it. That's how some people can be. They can see you play and they're like, whoa, man, whoa, do that again. And that's a cool feeling, man. And in my opinion, it's really cool because you have just inspired somebody to give this a shot, and like I said, music, or playing guitar, and, music too, I feel growing up in my teen years kept me out of a lot of trouble. While my other buddies were, going out and partying, which there's nothing wrong with that when you're that age, just as long as you don't get in no trouble, I was up in my room, trying to learn a power chord, or learning how to move that around on the neck, just moving stuff around. And I was like, okay, you can play it here, just pretty much anywhere. I was just learning, and that blew my mind. So I was always in my room playing, always, all the time. And speaking of, like I just said a minute ago, I'll get right back to your comments. Going in one ear and out the other. Have any of y'all ever experienced, anybody in the chat or anybody that watches this, later on or whatever, if you play music and you're a musician and you make your own music, you record your own music, and you would put it on a CD or whatever, and you would want to let people hear your stuff, right? And here's the two types of people that I've found out. This is just my opinion, okay? I'm just speaking for myself. And let's say it's somebody at your work or something, you became buddies with some people at work, a couple of guys, gals, it don't matter, whatever. And they're like, oh, I heard you play guitar. And you're like, yeah, I'm trying to have some fun, And I'm like, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a CD of some of my stuff, and I'll give it to you. You can keep it, give it to somebody else, or use it as a coaster, or whatever you want to do. But the one question I would say, I would ask them, I'd say, what kind of music do you like? And if I got this answer, I knew not to waste my time. If they said, I'll pretty much listen to anything, it doesn't matter. No. That's the kind of person that is riding in the car and they just turn the radio on to whatever station, and it doesn't matter what's playing. They're too busy thinking about something else. That music, they're hearing it, but it's just not registering as it would you and me as a musician or a guitar player. Do you follow what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And so, but when you ask a person, hey, what kind of music do you like? And they say, well, I like classic rock, stuff like Zeppelin or Van Halen, you'd be like, oh, okay, they're going to listen because they told me exactly what they like, so I'd make that person a CD, give it to them. And then a couple of days later, if, you say, hey man, I listened to your CD, it was bad, it was good, it was okay, whatever the feedback was, but at least they listened to it, they listened to it. The first group of people that I mentioned, you'd give them something, and 2 or 3 weeks, my dog's barking out there, 2 or 3 weeks would go by and you don't hear nothing, no kind of feedback whatsoever. So you wasted your time, and trying, but it's all good, man. So that was a long time ago. That was years ago. Let's see here. Where am I at here? On the Mike Morrison ground beef. Yeah, there we go. Senator, he says he's loving his Wolfgang guitar. If y'all hear that dog barking, I apologize. There's nothing I can do about it right there. I don't know what my wife and them are doing. Senator has got a new Wolfgang. He got the black stealth, and so I'm glad you're enjoying that, Senator. That's awesome, man. Yeah, Mike says Wolfgang guitars are awesome. They are. I have 2 of them myself in an EV8 Stripe. I love my Wolfgangs very much. Sean says his Wolfgang is his favorite guitar. Senator says he's been listening to UFO this week. Very cool, man. Very awesome. Lynn says music is personal. It is. It is. It very much is. And Lynn, you got that wrench? No. Yes, it is personal. Yes, personal taste. Whatever you like. Yeah, absolutely. Um, John Windsor says an old friend, oops, has a new blues project called the Apocalypse Blues Review. Definitely worth a listen. Okay, cool, man. Cool, cool. Okay, and he's from Godsmack. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Um, Sean Mahoney says "Lights Out in London" is his favorite UFO song. Very cool. Uh, Mr. Mike Morrison says I have a EVH Wolfgang. Oh man, I used to have one of those, and I sold it about a year and a half ago. And I hear you. I hear you, Miss Lynn. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I got you, Mike. Wolfgang spell. Yeah, I had one. I had one. It was purple, and I sold it a year and a half ago. Like an idiot. I needed the money, and but man, that was a great guitar. Never had no problem out of it, but that's okay because now I have two EVH Wolfgang specials. Let's see, but only on Johnny and Dave show. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what the deal is with that. And excuse me, and Center. I think he left a word out or two, but I kind of know what you're saying, Center. I have no idea. I don't even know what that's for. Pardon me. I don't. I guess it's some kind of thing where you can control the chat box or something. I'm assuming. I have no idea. I've never seen that option on here, and but I've never looked for it either. So I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Uh, yeah, I always kind of wondered what the deal with that was. I was like, why do they keep talking about a wrench? But what do I know? I'm just a you know I just want to play guitar, man. I ain't worried about no tools. uh, it's for when the conversation goes south. Oh, okay. All right. I hear you, Miss Lynn. Okay, cool. Um, I didn't know that. I did not know that whatsoever. Okay, cool. Um, UFO. Oh man, I haven't heard none of their stuff in a long time. Um, okay, I want to play stupid here for a minute. Isn't that the one that Michael Schenker was guitarist? Isn't that correct? And his brother Rudolph Schenker was in the Scorpions, and I think Michael Schenker wasn't he in the Scorpions too for a brief moment? I never was a big Scorpions fan, so these things I don't know. I couldn't say. Um, David Allen Wright says full administration controls to the chat. Also, other things you can run IP trace stacks. Oh, okay. Thanks, Dave. I knew you would know. I'm just I'm doing good to sit here, looking at a chat, So um Sean says yes, off and on about I guess Michael Schenker, yes. Okay, Center says he concurs, he says yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I kind of thought that's what he was, but I wasn't totally sure. Um Scorpions, they had that big breakout and stuff in the 80s, like Hurricane and all that, which was cool. But you heard those songs all the time. Um, but they were cool for what they were in that time frame. I'm not saying nothing bad about the Scorpions. I just, I don't know. I just like to listen to Van Halen better, I guess. Just my opinion, you know. um, but I did like when they came out with Winds of Change. I love that song. I thought that was a really cool song. Um, yeah. But yeah, man, just being able to, you, you know how see guitar players, you guys in the chat and people who are watching who maybe aren't commenting but are watching, and that's cool. I understand. But when you learn something new on the guitar, it's like you've reached a whole new plateau, a new level. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's hard to explain. It's just, I mean, when I would try to work on something which would now would kind of be like basic stuff, but when I was just starting out, trying to learn certain things, and I would finally get it. I would finally get it, and I was like, "That's how you do it. That's how you do it," you know. And my self-esteem would just go. Whew. I would feel so good, you know. Just I was like, "Man, I finally learned that," you know. And one of the hardest things for me to learn in the beginning, I don't know about y'all. Everybody's progression of learning is different. Would be changing from chord to chord, you know, especially like a C. That C was always a MFer, you know, for me, you know, going from C to D and then just making those. I remember when I first got a guitar, there was a guy that lived beside me and he had an acoustic. He came over there and he was like, you know, and just doing all the, and I was like, whoa, 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 slow down, man. He was doing all, and it just, he's probably playing some kind of bluegrass thing or something. I don't know. And I thought people were going to come out in the back square dancing or something, you know, put your partner round and round, don't see, you know, whatever. Can we play something else, dude? You know, so, but yeah, he was doing all these chord changes and it just blew my mind. I was like, whoa, how's he doing that? So when I finally started to get coordinated enough with this hand, going from chord to chord, I work on 3 chords, right? G, D, A, back to G. I just did that over and over. Then I said, okay, now let's do E, A, D. So then when I finally started to understand just these basic chords, you can learn hundreds of songs. And that's when you know, being in a band comes into being really helpful because that's when you can really learn, you know. Let's see. You know, stuff like that, you know, just all kind of cool stuff. But once I got those chords, progressions down, man, I was like, bring it on. You know, then I saw Ingve and I was like, stop. I don't get it. I was like, no, that ain't happening, dude. That ain't happening. You know, you need to take it down a notch, man. Center says he's seen the Scorpions on the Monsters of Rock tour. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were on that with them. Yeah, that was cool. That was awesome. Sean Mahoney says it's a natural high anytime you learn a new song. Yes, it is. At least for it is. Okay. I got you though, man. I got you. Jim says he also did as well Center in 1988. Yes. Yeah. That was a cool tour, man. It was really cool. Yeah, I remember the big hype about that tour when I was 88. So I was probably a junior or senior in high school. Yeah, I remember that was because that's when Sammy was still with them, and at least for me, it is. My bad. Okay, that's okay, Sean. Ain't no big deal, man. There's no, you know, it's no big deal, brother. It's all good. Jaden James 104 is in the house. Yay! What's up, everyone? Hey, Jaden, how you doing, man? We're just getting ready to sign off. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. No, I'm just kidding, Jaden. I'm just kidding. That's wrong, man. I'm just playing. Yeah. I know. Jim says he was 25 when he saw the Monsters of Rock tour. Yeah, yeah, I remember that was the big build up and big hype, and it was really good. According to Sammy Hagar's book, that tour was successful, but in his words, no, not mine, but in Sammy Hagar's words, it wasn't the home run they expected. You can take that how you will, you know. I'd just be thrilled just to be able to play anywhere like that, you know. But you know, those guys have been doing that kind of stuff for years, so you know I can understand. You have to keep trying to top yourself, I guess. You know, I guess maybe they thought they didn't really hit the success they were wanting, but they said it was in his book. He said they did all right, but it wasn't the home run they expected. Jaden James says, saw that tour in '88 at the Coliseum in LA. Wow, cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah, that was a cool tour. I remember when MTV was MTV and it was actually good. You know, you remember Headbangers Ball and all that stuff on MTV back then, and they would actually have letters they would read for requests and all that. Man, talk about a long time ago. Letters. Yeah, who writes letters anymore? You know, nobody. You know, unless they're, you know, you have a military family or whatever overseas or something like that. You know, but now everything is done with this. You know, uh, so yeah. But I remember the big build up on that tour. It was really cool. Oh wow, okay, cool, Jim. That's cool, man. I like that. He sent me a picture of his uncle got a, cigar box guitar. Pretty cool. I would try to show it on here, but it's probably not going to come across really well, man. On the excuse me, on the camera. Um, Jim says, "Yeah, man, I seen the Monsters of Rock tour at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Yeah, that's awesome." Um, David Allen Wright says, "I remember the Kiss unmasking live back on the day on MTV. Yeah, I've seen footage of that. Yeah, that was wild, man. That was crazy when they did that. That was like a big, you know, whoa kind of moment, you know. That's what was that? The guy that was I've seen footage of that. Who was that? JJ Jackson that was talking during that and all that stuff. It just goes to show you. And you know, Kiss is all right. They've earned their place where they're supposed to be. I've never been a real big, huge Kiss fan, but I've always liked Ace Frehley, and I got his tattoo on my arm right there. That's Ace Frehley. You know, I don't know if you can how good that's coming across, but I always liked Ace Frehley. I thought he was cool. I always liked his solo album when they were everybody did their own deal, you know, had their own solo thing in Kiss or whatever. And I still have that album today. It was actually still even when I listen to it today, I was like, man, that thing was produced really well, you know. But as a group, Kiss, I wasn't really big on, but I was always blown away by their story and and how they got to where they are now. Um, Actually, I do have a couple of books, audio books. Uh, Gene Simmons, I think it's called Kiss and Makeup, and then Paul Stanley's newest book. I can't remember the name of it right now. I can't recall what the name of it is. I have to clear my throat. People, hang on just a second. I apologize. Um, but those books are really good books. They're really fantastic books. But Gene Simmons, man, it just goes to show you what that man won't do for a dollar, right? You know, he's very smart. I mean, he narrated his own book. So did Paul Stanley in those audio books, and they're very intelligent men. But Gene Simmons, man, Gene, you look at him and you're like, uh, wow. You know, I guess it just goes to show you what money can do. I guess you know. Oh man. Um, let's see. Yeah, David Allen Wright says before it was normal. You were never able to see them out of makeup. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah. So what is it? There's only two original members of Kiss now. You know, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, and that's pretty much it. Um, I know this past summer they had a big tour because I was following their feed on Facebook. And they were playing outside of the country all over. I mean, it was amazing the people they still pull in. It was just I was like, good God, you know. But it makes you kind of wonder how much longer they're going to do that. You know, are they going to, you know, eventually it's just going to be a cover band. You know, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley are eventually going to have to retire. They just can't keep going on and on and on forever, right? So yeah, pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. But like I said, man, they deserve everything they got. They worked hard, you know. So I'm not trying to take nothing away from them, not putting them down. It's just, you know, pretty clever how they put everything together with the makeup and all. You got to admit, you know, I actually pulled up during what was it during Halloween. I actually pulled up the Paul Lynn Halloween special 1976 because Kiss was playing on there and they were all jumping around and you know that was right when they were coming out. You know, pretty hot and heavy in their prime, just starting out, and it's pretty wild. I was like, man, look at that, how things were back then. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And but anyway, if anybody doesn't have any more comments or questions, I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. I know it's Christmas Eve and it is almost 10:30, 10:25 to be exact. And I just wanted to get on here for a little while and tell everybody Merry Christmas. I hope Santa is good to you, you know, tonight. So be sure to leave out your milk and cookies. And everybody have a great evening. Merry Christmas. Hope you have a happy and safe New Year. And thank you for joining, and thank you for commenting on the videos. Merry Christmas, Sean. Thank you, and thank you for taking the time to be a part of fans of the Joe Wentz Project or whatever on Facebook. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, if you would like to, I don't know, follow me or whatever on Facebook, fans of the Joe Wentz Project, I'm on there. Or if you just want to check out the links below in the comment section, I've already put the links there before I started this live feed. You can find out more about me or whatever. I'm nobody. I'm just a guitar player who loves playing guitar and likes having fun. And I've met a lot of nice people through things like this, and it's been a lot of fun, and some super, super nice people, very supportive people. And so, yes, yes, Mike, Merry Christmas, Mike Morrison. Hey, man, how you doing? Was that Les Ben Bella? Okay, hey, man, how you doing? I'm getting ready to sign off, man. So I apologize if this is quick, but you can rewind the video, and check it out, from the beginning. We had a good time sitting here chatting about classic rock and guitars and people what kind of music you like, what kind of music you don't like, stuff like that. John Windsor, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you too, sir. And to everybody who was here, thank you so much for taking the time out of your Christmas Eve to join this broadcast and to pop in and say hello. I really appreciate it. And okay, I've said enough. I'm gonna get off here and get some water, which I have it right here. my throat is dry. I gotta get off here because I know I'm boring the heck out of everybody. So, and thank you, Les. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, sir. Thank you very much. And okay, take care, people. Thank you. God bless y'all. Until next time, this is Joe for the Joe Wentz Project broadcast. Peace out, everybody. Merry Christmas. God bless.